My Soulmate's a Slime by admay 1913 Mystery in the Forest of Jura. Shedding Tree. Mava. The High Enchanter looks back to see her soulmate speeding her way and engulfing her in a hug. HMMP. I'll be missing you so much, Rimuru announces, giving Mava a tight squeeze, and the lady could only chuckle. Hey now, don't be quite dramatic. You and the others are only leaving for a week, she croons, nuzzling her face affectionately on the Tempest ruler's neck. I know. It's just that I am so used to being around you now, so we parting for a week is quite unbearable. I mean it. Alright, I get what you mean. 'Cause I feel the same. But you still are a king and have a duty to all of Tempest. You need to go. Rimuru sighed resignedly at the reply. Right. Since Tempest is being acknowledged left and right, I needed to attend this gathering. Hey, talk about the downside of ruling. Would you rather be alone as you were before, then? HMMP. The slime raised his head, triggered by his woman's way of reminding things. Why is she good at this? No wonder Zarif told him she'd always win at debates. Hey now. That's mean. No need to guilt-trip me. I am doing all I can to be a ruler everyone loves and trusts. So don't remind me of those lonely, boring days. A wide smile adorned Mava's lips. See, you will be just fine. 'Cause this alone shows how much you really cares for everyone. Tempest is fortunate to have you, love. Rimuru's eyes softened at that. He gently pulled his soulmate back in his arms, kissing her forehead. And I am fortunate and grateful to have them by my side. They may depend on me most of the time like a child to their parents, but without them, my life has no meaning. And now that you are here with me, I couldn't ask for more, Mava. I will always be thankful for this second chance of love, he confessed, warming the lady's heart. She is fortunate too to have found another family in the name of Tempest, and her to have been granted with a soulmate like Rimuru. Noir, materializing behind Maya, who by then was busy painting, was startled. She almost jumped from her seat. You scared me, dude. She smacked him right on the neck and the butler winced at the impact. Darling, no need to get handsy on me every time I come see you. That hurts, he complains, not lying on the fact that it really does hurt. Maya tends to release powers unconsciously, so it added to the pressure. It's your fault for appearing all of a sudden. You almost gave me a heart attack. The lady retorts, pointing her paintbrush at him. Noir shook his head, flabbergasted. He can never win with this princess. He got used to her complex mood sometimes, and he even finds it endearing. It may sound weird to some, but that's how he's whipped and hooked with his soulmate. Ah, I apologize, my lady. He bows, leaving Maya dumbfounded at his always dramatic actions. He could be an actor and could win an Oscar easy peasy. Now then, I want my fill of kisses for the week, darling. His eyes formed into crescents as he demanded his kisses. Huh? The lady blurts in disbelief. Kisses my foot? No, never, she denies firmly, just to see the famous, try me, smirk of Noir. Man, she's in for doses of trouble. And who'd stop me? Ah, not even you, darling. Now give them to me or I'll take it however I like. Her eyes widens at that. Really now, what is wrong with this primordial? He had never been like this before. Did this 1 week trip away from her finally made him lose his marbles? Wow, is that a threat, Noir? She gasped when her soulmate suddenly leaned closer, his face now inches away from her. No, it's a charm, baby. Rimuru and his now new team finally departed from Tempest to the kingdom of the mermaids. They're holding a gala and invited almost all of the rulers for the big event. Pretty sure they'd flex charm to try and get everyone to have diplomatic relationships with them. Not for Tempest though. Rimuru had to make sure they are cleared of any suspicions before he'd consider accepting their proposal. Tagging with him are the fairy tale wizards, who were excited to explore Sea Palace. Although, the Tempest ruler isn't actually sure if he can contain them and trust them to behave themselves. They're a rowdy bunch after all, and play fighting is what makes their guild unique. Noir came with as well as his butler so he could record everything, but that is only an excuse. Raphael can do that just fine. Noir can be quite persuasive as well, and he's an expert on national state affairs, so he'd be a big help. Especially because Tempest is still a rising kingdom. He just hopes nothing goes wrong while he's on another land, or the sea rather. He could have taken Maya and Mava as well, but Raphael advised him against it. If anything is to happen, they're powerhouses that can defend Tempest, that is for sure. This is exactly the reason why he asked Benimaru, Xian, Sue and Veldora to not let their guard down and listen to Mava, the acting empress at the moment. There's no issue there since Tempest has already crowned the lady as the queen deep in their hearts anyway, and Maya as the high princess, which reminds him, Noir too has to accept the title of royalty as her soulmate. Despite Raphael's assurance though, he still can't dismiss the feeling of an impending disaster. As to where and how, he has no idea. He just hopes his hunch is wrong. Shuna can't believe what she is seeing. Mava's on her loom weaving expertly without the use of her magic. I didn't know you were a professional weaver as well, Mava-sama. And your moves are even graceful, the Kijin princess complimented, eyes blinking in utter disbelief. Mava smiles, quite embarrassed at her kind words. I learned this at the young age of 4 and it became a hobby I loved doing in my spare time. Woo, I see. I am happy I have someone who can help me now. Thank you, Mava-sama. My pleasure, Princess Shuna. Anyways, these are done, so would you mind if I incorporate other designs? I kind of have a knack for things concerning arts, Mava asked, not wanting to just impose her likes when this is the princess's domain. The Kijin princess smiled, delighted. Of course, your highness. Please, no need to ask me. Mava grins back before she untangled the silk from the loom and laying it down on the floor so she could work her magic on it. Literal magic. On the other corner of the room, Xian's beyond baffled. Her eyes twinkled with genuine amazement and curiosity as she watches Maya encode on an otherworldly device called laptop. Maya's fingers were flying on the keyboard, fully focused as she wanted the entry to be done that day. As the newly appointed finance manager of Tempest, Rimuru entrusted her with it the moment he discovered she's a math wizard. The protest she made was deemed futile as the ruler announced it anyways, leading her to throw her shoe at him. He only chuckled though and simply waved his hand, gifting her enhancement of her powers and evolving her into an SS-class wizard as a reward. And that's how he got her. So this is called laptop, Princess Maya? Xian questioned, still admiring the whole thing, and Maya almost thought of recording her expression. Yup. And since you were the secretary, I should teach you how to use this. It's easier to store data and all important documents needed. Trust me, it'll be a blast, she replied, still typing away even though her eyes are locked on Xian. Really? That would be amazing. Please teach me, Maya-sama. Ah no, Maya-sensei. She bowed dramatically and the high princess could only stare at her before chuckling. Sure. She saved her output and beckoned Xian closer. We begin. The ladies' session was suddenly interrupted when Sue materialized in the room in his zap-like teleportation method. Sue? Shuna say immediately, feeling a bad news coming forth. I've come with an urgent report, Mava-sama. He starts and the high enchantress nodded, urging him to continue. We saw a strong and very powerful magic circle in the forest. It gives off an entity of death and none of us can go near it. Soewi was cut off when Benimaru suddenly threw open the door, a look of panic on his face. Mava-sama, Maya-sama, we are under attack. Hordes of demonoid sirens are on their way here. Our patrol guards have already fallen easily. Shuna and Xian gasped as they have experienced this kind of trouble before, and on the day that their ruler is gone from their country. This is bad. Will they suffer the same fate again? They've never encountered sirens before, but they are said to the villains in the ocean. The question is why? Why would they attack Tempest? Fret not. Mava stood up and walked closer towards Benimaru and Sue. This is no time to panic. First answer me, where is Veldora? Benimaru took in a deep breath, calming himself down. Veldora-sama was quick to intercept them at the forest but fell unconscious under the influence of their voices. He replies, admitting to himself that it is rather refreshing to see Mava and her sister still calm and composed amidst all these reports. Wait, have they gone through something like this? Like a lot? As expected. They knew Veldora could easily disintegrate them, so they took him out first. However, they are mistaken if they think they can take Tempest with that alone. Listen to me. She looked at Xian and Shuna. Both of you. I need you to be in charge of protecting the citizens. Quickly evacuate them to the labyrinth, mainly in Veldora's domain. I've already informed Romulus through telepathy, so she'll meet you there. Yes, ma'am. Benimaru, dispatch our military to the spots in Tempest where Maya will mark. We have to keep the fighting to a minimum, so we'll have to lure them to us and away from the city. Understood. Benimaru was about to go and do as he's told, but Maya quickly stopped him. Hold it. Wait for a while, Sir Benimaru. Sirens can easily manipulate you with their lovely voices, so we need to have protection against that. Maya is right, Mava said, letting out her gemstone of water, her eyes glowing blue. Hear me, gemstone of water. Place upon our comrades the protective enchantment of waters to fight against the sirens' controls. The gemstone glowed brighter and cast the said enchantment to everyone in the room. Mava put it away before looking back at them. Benimaru, Maya, go. I got it. The younger answers before she and Benimaru were gone in a flash. Shuna and Shion, you must go now as well. Yes, Mava-sama. Shuna then held Shion's hand and they teleported at the center of the city, immediately calling everyone's attention. Will my barrier hold? Shuna asked worriedly as her barrier was casted upon Rimuru orders. It will, Princess Shuna. Look. Shuna followed with her gaze where Shion was pointing to see Maya conjuring an all-out defensive as well as offensive spell and casting it to the sky. An array of glows and colors follow through Shuna's barrier, making it an ultimate defense. Sue, you're on stealth mode duty. I need you to use your body doubles to report the movements of the enemies. I entrust you to protect the lives of our comrades who had fallen under the sirens' voices. Can you do that? Mava asked the last person in the room. Quite easy, my lady. I shall do so right away, Sue replied with utmost confidence, putting Mava at ease. Thank you. Sue bows and vanished in thin air right after, leaving the princess all alone. Now then, you want war? Then it's war you get, sirens.